Charlie Miller, you there yet?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey, buddy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Better than Xavier.
Yeah, and I was just talking about that. I don't know if you heard what I'm saying, but it just gives me great pause that he's your senior coming back. This is the guy who's supposed to lead this team. We saw the problems last year that it took quite a while for him to come around to the point of being a leader, and then the Northwestern thing happens, and now this, and I have my doubts that that's the guy that I want leading my team because he continues to make bad decisions to put his team in a bad position.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I'm gonna give you two sides of this, Jim. It's unfortunate because you got to put in consideration the infraction that happened again right before the Northwestern game, and then to me, the weight it had on the season. To me, almost. I think that was a pivotal game. And now you take an off season. You're not even out of your off season within 3 weeks, and this happens, right? And then the way it happens and the story behind it. I saw the gentleman was talking before about all the things that were happening. It's one thing to resist arrest, but now you're switching seats. Why were you switching seats? Were you under the influence of any type of drug or alcohol or whatever it was?
Here's the stupid thing is they didn't just try to switch seats. They got out and walked around the car.
Right.
Have enough sense to stay in the damn car and try to get away with it.
Yeah. And that's that's the I think it puts Coach Woodson in a very tough situation. Right, because now, for me, you look at now the play of Xavier Johnson, and you are expecting him to be one of your leaders. But now, do you want this person with character flaws, which everyone has, but like consistent, leading your team, leading young players? Okay, do you want that? Right, that's a question that you have to ask. Because if you do, you're gonna, just be transparent. You're gonna draw smoke around it and say, okay, it was an infraction. It was a young kid. We all make mistakes, and we're gonna all move on. If you don't, you're gonna move sharply on it, and it won't even be, a next year for him because you just can't afford it. So, 20-something-year-old on the campus of Bloomington, the season's over. Whether you're around spring break time or not, I get it, got it. But what happened with the law, getting the city involved, getting the school involved. Now Coach Woodson has a tough decision to me to make.
Yeah, David says his inability to make good choices goes back to when he was at Pitt, and it definitely does. So that's what bothers you. This is not a first, a second time,
right?
And with him supposed to be your senior going into next year, you think you're solidified in that spot. Now you're not. Now maybe you're not. I don't know. I don't know what Mike's going to do here. But Keegan had said, we were talking off air, and even for the other positions like Race and Trace, they have not been very active in the portal. They've not been talking to people. Per report. So we'll see if that changes or not. But that's just from a teammate standpoint. If you're a teammate, I have to put you in that shoes.
Yeah,
what are you seeing right now? If you're like going, damn man, what's up, man?
Jim, I'm gonna be honest, man. From a teammate, I probably knew about this. I probably knew about this more than just the one time he got caught. And just be real, right? This is behavior. This is habit. This isn't like, oh, I've never done this before. It's followed you. So, you just hadn't got caught, or, you were safe and you had a story to tell, right? It was a funny locker room story. So now what I know now, if I'm a teammate, I'm like, I'm expecting you to be a leader. I need exemplary behavior, right? Because that's going to affect recruiting. You got to think about that. That's a domino effect. And I know some players are probably on him right now, holding him accountable. Right?
Yeah,
And you can apologize all day right now, but I mean that apology is not going to go anywhere near acceptance right now. A lot of them.
no, because you've got a recruiting class coming in, and
Right.
the parents of
Exactly.
those guys, what are they're sitting there thinking, oh, this is their starting point guard.
Right.
This is not who I want my son with. Oh, this is the guy that got suspended last year at Nebraska. Before the Northwestern game.
Right.
An easy win, walkover game that turned into a loss and nearly cost the season.
Right.
They have to be thinking of that, and forget about the parents, the recruits themselves. These recruits today, they're not dumb. They're smart. They want to win. They're coming here to win. They're coming to be a part of something better, not a part of dysfunction.
That's right. And that's the part right there where you have to win back the locker room. It's going to be a locker room divided. You're going to have some people root for him underneath, their breath because they don't want to be seen. They want to kind of be passive about it. You're going to have some people just adamant, like, I don't want any part of that. You got to make better choices, especially if you're going to have the ball in your hand. How's that going to affect your decision making when we're playing, against, a tough team? So it's a tough pickle, man. When you have infractions like this, it really sours what you're looking to build, especially when you have the season you just had, where a lot of those games. I'm not saying he was blamed, but he had the ball in his hand, so you're thinking about that. Where was he mentally? What was going on with him? Did he get enough sleep? Is he getting enough rest? Were they dealing with things internally that they just kind of kept underneath the wraps? You start thinking about all that stuff, and again, it's a domino effect. The parents, like you said, man, people watch this stuff now. This stuff is on social media. Hey, you go to school here. You better be careful. Don't hang out with him. Don't be around him. Now that's tough because that's your point guard. This is a guy that's gonna have the ball in his hand 85% of the time, trying to get you the ball. I mean, so it's so many. I think it's going to be an easy choice for them, but they have to really weigh, the play of Xavier Johnson versus the character in the locker room, off the court. Is it worth, suspending? Is it worth, the worst infraction, obviously, or just, booting them off the team?
Yeah, it's definitely a pickle, as you put it, without question.
Yeah.
Also over the weekend, Jalen Hudson won another national championship. Speaking of which, one of the guys coming in down at Montverde. So congratulations to him. But and you have to think about those guys that are coming in. That's not the influence you want on your team going forward. And that's while he's here, that's the influence that is here.
That's right. That's the influence. And I want to share this, Jim, real quick. Going to a school like a Montverde, which is you're going to have more of this type of discussion, Jim. I'm not saying you don't have this at regular high schools, but a lot of the guys that go to the Montverdes in the world, you have these kind of discussions often. You have panels about this. You bring in people who actually were, got kicked off a team, or something happened dramatically, and they had to step aside, and they come talk to these guys about this. So to win a national championship in the fashion he's done, you think he'll be he might be a little more mature about making decisions, especially because think about it. You're on your own. You're down in Florida. You're not where you're from. You're staying in a dorm, so you're kind of used to living a college athlete lifestyle. So you just hope that they're able to make better decisions and look at what's happening. Not again, beat Xavier up, support him as much as possible, but don't condone the behavior.